call is now being recorded.
Hello guys, in today's video we're talking about sparse matrix. According to sparse matrix Java, sparse matrix are those matrices that have the majority of their elements equal to zero. In other words, the sparse matrix can be defined as the matrix that can a greater number of zero elements than the non-zero elements. And let's have a code. I have here this example code. Do you see it clearly? The first to have an this is an code for asterisk sparse matrix. First, the include is CDIH, CDIOH, int main, int display the 6 by 8 matrix, which is it can be 6 rows and 8 columns. Int I or the initials and the j's. For I is equals to 0, which is the beginning of the matrix, and I is less than 6, which 6 is the highest, and then I plus plus. Then for j is equals to 0 and j is less than 8 and j plus plus. Then now we have to print enter value for a sparse matrix calling for a numbers that I and j. Scanf display I and j. Then close. We have the print two-dimensional array elements for I is equals to 0 again, and for j is equals to 0. I is less than 6 and j is less than 8. J plus plus to continue. Then printf display I and j. Then j is equals to 4. J is equals to 6. J is equals to 6. Then let's run the program. I will explain it later how it runs the one. From if we run the program, this will ask for a value of matrix 0 0, which is the row 0 and the column 0, where this is asking for the value of 0 row 0 column 0. We put 7, next 0 sub 1, 0 and 1, which is the row 0 and the column 1. asking for the value 5. We put some row 0, column 2, put a 6 value, row 0, column 3, we put 9, row 0, column 4, which is the initial is 0 and 3 is 4. We put some value of 4. Row 0, column 4 is 4. Then row 0, column 5, we put some 7. Then row 0, column 6, we put some 7 again. Then row 0, column 7, we put some 8. Why does the loop, why does this code end up with 8? Because if we count uh, this code, then it will begin to 0. Then from 0 to 0 to 0, row 0 to 7, it is counted as 8. Then the this is the code. This- From the first, it was asking for the value which is Ri is 0 and Rj is from 8. Then when when it reach up the value of 8 from starting 0, then it end up with the 7. Then the next printf will end, then continue the I sub 1. I is equals to 1, which is our rows. Row 1. Then when it started at row 1, our column also start to 0, which is if we draw a Excel from row 1, from row 0, where the value meet, or the value meet, then let's move again here. I'll, I'll run it again so that we can see now. From row 0 0, row 0 to column 0, this happen is the initial or the value of I 0 and j 0, which is our column, will meet. Then it will, in the code, it will ask for the value of the I and j, asking for the value of I and j to print. Then we put some 7 again, row 0 0 6 5 7 7 also, 9 7 0 5. Yes, this will continue. Now this is what I'm talking about. When the loop reach up the value of 8, which is, if we start from 0, then it will end up with 7, because 0 is starting point, which is considered as our initial. Then From here, we can ask then the value of I will, or the row or the I will start from 1. In the Excel, we have zero in rows. We have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then from the column also, it will start from 0. It ends up with 7. Then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then from here, the row 1 and the column 0 will ask for its value. We put some 6, put 7 also, put some 0, put some 5, some 8, some 2. Why does this mattress, even it encountered uh, smallest number, it will not end up, because in the in the program code, it will end up with the end of I or j, or the rows or the columns from 0 to 7. Then after 7, it will go again back to the initial, which is started by 1 in the rows, until it reach up also in 5, from 0 to 5 the rows in column 0 to 7. Then the initial or the row 1 asking for the value of the column 6. Put some 6, put some 7. Then after the number encountered, the 7, which is the end up of this code, it will return to the initial, which is the rows, to continue the counting of the rows from 0 to 5, which is our end up with 6. Then since if we count from 0, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This will exactly the number being printed. You have 6 from starting 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 5, and 6. 6 from 0. Then the last number is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then this, the 5, the last will end up, then return to the j, which is our columns. Again, we're asking for the value of the second rows, column 0. We put some value of 5, 6, 7, 5, 2, 0, 4, 7. Again, in the enter value for sparse matrix 3, which is our row 3, column 0, every time that our j ends up with 7, then it will return to the initial, or the rows, or the initial where it's continued by from 0 to 5. Then since we already reached the value of the second rows, column 7, it will return to the 3. It will return to the initials and follow and continue the counting of from 0 to 5. Then the row 3, column 0, we're asking for the value, and put some value of 6, 8, 3, 7, 5, 5, 4, 6. Again, in since we since the rows ends with 7, then end up continue, then print the 0, it is also true, then continue the counting of the initial, which is our columns, our rows from 0 to 5. Then since we reach up 7, and it will end and return, then go back to the initials, which is our rows, our rows, or the I is, our value of I here is 4. Since it is I plus plus, then when it reach out the column 7, which is the end up of loop, end up of the code, then from here it continues to 3. Then 3 3 plus 1, which is 4, and which is the I plus plus, then it begins also to 4. For the row 4, column 0, we put some value 5, 6, 3, 5, 4, 6, 6, 7, 4, 3, 7, 3. Let's continue the until we end up with the value. Here is our last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here is our complete value, which is our row 0, column 0 value is 7. Row 0, column 1 is equals to 6. Row 0, column 2 equals to 5. Row 0, column 4 is equals to 9. And row 0, column 5 is equals to 7. Row 0, column 6 is equals to 0. Then, which is the indentions, and our column, our row 7, our value of the row 0, column 7 is equals to 5. Then after this, after we I took a screenshot, then let's create an Excel or an example in if we have tables in documents. A screenshot. After this, we go to the Word, and let's create a table. Since since I don't have Excel in my phone, then let's have it here just to explain clearly that from home we go to insert, we have tables, insert table, We have home, insert, table again, table again, delete, insert table, and I can create it here in on why we would try to the WPS apps since I can create in excuse me, since I can create it in Microsoft. Let's create it here and let's create this spreadsheet documents again here. Then we insert tables. Yes, here. This is much since our column here are from zero, which is our A is zero. This is a column, column A, column B, from zero, one. Our starting point here is A. A is equals to zero, which is our column zero, is zero, one, two, three, four, five, six, then seven, seven, and up to five. In our first part, the I here is the I is equals the one is the zero and the A is zero. Then our value here it will print five. Uh, then in column B, which is our column one and row zero, imagines that the number one here is the row zero. Number one in this part, this part will be the zero. You see it clearly. This is the from that we can that our value of this is the value. Then I print for the value of zero. You put on seven. From five. Put on okay. We need to base it in the program. So for example, if we base it in the program, we look for the value inputted here. Since this is the value, our 00756797579. Put some value of 0076. 5, 7, 9, 7, 7, have 0, I have 5, 5. In this, when the row 0, column 7 will end up with its value, then it will 5 is greater than 8. It's also true. Then since we reach up the base of the baseline or the graph of 7 in the column 7, which is our 8 number, if we start it in from 1, then since we are started in 0, then our value will end up with 7. When it reach up the column of 7, it will return, then continue back to print to I and asking for the value of 2, which is here. From that, we input some 6705. 670. What's some 6, 7, 0, 0, and 5 until it's continue and complete. Yeah, we'll complete it this 826. 5, 4, 6, 6. We have to 5, 4, 6, 6. Last number inputted is 8. From that, we can conclude that here is the table of mattress from which is the row 0 in this area. Is the row 0. This is the row 0. This is the row 0 and this is the column 0. This is the column. This is the column 0. Then every time that the row 0 the column 7 end up with the asking value, Then it continues, it goes back to the initial value, which is our, and the I will I plus plus or I plus plus, then since the value here from the row 0, imagine that this is the row 0 and this is the row 1. When every time the row 0, every time that row 0 column 7 will already ask for its value and input, then it goes back to the I, then I plus plus to continue the process. Then from 0 plus 1, it started this. Imagine that this is the 2, this the column, this is the row 1. Then until it reach out the row row 5, which if we started in 1, then it is will be 6. Since we started it in 0, it last up with the number 5. Because we count from 0 continues 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Then since we count it, yes, we count it from 0, then 5 is the last time if we start it in 0. Start in 0. Then from here, from the 5 or the row 5, this is the row 5, then this is the column 7, ends, then the end of the program. Since I plus plus, since I is gray is equals to 6 already, if we continue, then it will end. This is the last number in the row 5 column 7, because if we continue, then the 5 here will equal to the I value is equals to 6 already, then it will end up the value. It's and also to the column, which is rj, if we continued to 8, it ends up with the 7, because we start it from 0. From that, about from that my reflection about this presentations or this program is that we mattress is in mattress you can learn a lot things from rows and columns, and the programs how it ends, and the process it's processed. We go back to the code. We took a screenshot of the result because we paste it there from here to, since this is an aside code, this is the result. If we put some value and we took some value in this, we took a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. And okay, this is the value. If we put it in tables, it's still the same with the 0 column 0 in this is two-dimensional array in one tables. Then from there, continue. Okay, this is our sample code. You can learn a lot of in mattress, because we knows how the program starts and as for the values inputs, you could know here is how it ends, how it start the columns, and everything from the in this code, you know. Okay, and from this activity, this koan, I've learned uh, different samples and continued processes from from the rows and columns, how it being printed after this code being expressed. The code is C. I use the coding C apps. Okay, this is the please support my continue. Thank you. It's the end of